The complex and long-running Israeli-Palestinian conflict began in the late 19th and early 20th centuries. Zionism was a nationalist movement that sought to establish a Jewish homeland in Palestine, and Israel's founding in 1948 started the conflict. This decision sparked decades of Israeli-Palestinian conflict. The Ottomans ruled Palestine until the British Mandate after World War I. The population was mostly Arab, with a Jewish minority and various smaller ethnic groups. The Zionist movement grew during the British Mandate, 1917 through 1948, and Israel was founded in 1948. The new state pushed Palestinians to escape or leave their homes. Egypt, Iraq, Transjordan, and Syria invaded Israel following its independence in May 1948. The 1949 armistice established new de facto borders and handed Israel authority over most of the territory. After decades of battles and skirmishes, the struggle persisted. Israel and Palestinian peace. Israeli-Palestinian peace negotiations have failed to resolve the core concerns over the years. The struggle has killed thousands on both sides and faces new challenges in the 21st century. The feud simmered for decades, with wars and skirmishes, although the Zionist agenda had already displaced Palestinians. Major relocation began with the UN partition proposal. Between December of 1947 and mid-May of 1948, 700,000 Palestinians were expelled or fled. Expulsion and flight were key to the Nakba, the breakdown, depossession, and displacement of Palestinian society. The world's biggest stateless community, 5.9 million Palestinian refugees, live in the Middle East. Triggers for conflict. Events leading to Israel's initial assault include: number 1, the Zionist movement, which sought a Jewish homeland in Palestine, grew during the British Mandate, 1917 to 1948. The Zionist movement and Jewish immigration to Palestine increased during this time. Number 2, in 1947, the UN partitioned Palestine into Jewish and Arab governments. This ruling caused protests and violence because both sides claimed the same territory. Number 3, Egypt, Saudi Arabia, and other Arab nations attacked Israel to resist the fledgling state's establishment. Number 4, the 1949 Armistice Agreement did not finalize borders, and territory disputes lasted for decades. These issues led to the 1967 Six-Day War, which gave Israel more territory. Number 5, Palestinian militant groups like Hamas escalated the war. These groups violently oppressed Israel's existence and policies, causing persistent conflict. Number 6, Egypt and Syria attacked Israel unexpectedly on Yom Kippur in 1973, exacerbated the battle, and killed many on both sides. These and other events continued to the Israeli-Palestinian conflict and early attacks on Israel. Role of Hamas. Hamas was founded in 1987 during the First Palestinian Intifada. It is rooted in the Palestinian Muslim Brotherhood and supported by a strong Palestinian socio-political framework. The group's charter calls for an Islamic Palestinian state to replace Israel, and its strength is in Gaza and the West Bank. The Izz al-Din al-Qassam brigades of Hamas have carried out various anti-Israel actions, including large-scale bombings, small arms attacks, improvised roadside explosives, and rocket attacks. The group won the early 2006 Palestinian legislative elections, ending secular Fatah's control of the Palestinian Authority and undermining its legitimacy. Hamas has launched rocket and mortar attacks that have injured and killed civilians, and refuses to recognize or renounce the militant struggle against Israel. The U.S. considers Hamas a foreign terrorist organization. Hamas wants to create an Islamic Palestinian state and has used violence to oppose Israel's existence and policies, causing persistent confrontations. Consequences. The initial attacks on Israel had a lasting impact on the Israeli-Palestinian conflict. The conflict has caused severe casualties, population displacement, and political and military tensions. Initial attacks, such as Arab-Israeli wars and militant groups, shaped the conflict. Number 1. The violence has killed thousands of Israelis and Palestinians. Many Palestinians became refugees after the 1948 Arab-Israeli War. Number 2. The conflict has caused territorial disputes and Israel occupation of the West Bank and Gaza Strip. The 1967 conflict gave Israel authority over these lands, causing Palestinian tensions and resistance. Number 3. Hamas and other militant groups have escalated the conflict. These groups have opposed Israel's existence and policies with violence and terrorism, causing security issues and military responses. Number 4. The conflict has affected regional and international relations. It has influenced neighboring Arab countries and their policies and caused Middle East strife. Number 5. The conflict has hampered peace talks and diplomatic efforts to end the Israeli-Palestinian issue. No peace accord has been reached after many negotiations and mediations. In conclusion, the initial attacks on Israel caused death, displacement, territorial conflicts, militant groups, and major difficulties in regional peace and diplomacy. Israelis, Palestinians, and the Middle East are deeply affected by the conflict. Thank you so much for joining. If you enjoyed the video, remember to give it a thumbs up and subscribe to the channel for more content. I'll see you in the next video.